Hey everybody, this is hey, look at this. That's the one-eyed rock star with no guitar. I love that little thing.
That's my baby.
Yeah,
Had
I love
him
that
for
dog.
14 years.
But I wanted to tell I wanted to share with y'all I don't know whether you would call it a nightmare or a dream or what, but it had its ups and downs in this dreams. But I had a dream that I was with a hand, and
Layman's term, a helper.
helper. Yeah, I was with a helper, one of the favorite helpers back in the day. I guess I can use his name because we ain't using last names, but his name was Jeremy. And me and Jeremy, we would always,
Jeremy and I.
will you quit it already?
Proper English.
Jeremy, I'm not saying Jeremy and I, me and Jeremy. That sounds weird. You say potato, I say potato.
Proper English.
But Jeremy, I'm not saying it. Me and Jeremy, we would always,
Squirrel.
no, I mean, I don't want people thinking that I'm just a total dirtbag loser with this story, but it's just the irony of the story is in the end it's a good dream, I guess. I don't know why I had the dream. It's a weird dream, and it wasn't anything out of the ordinary except for this. Me and Jeremy, we used to be real fast at what we did. We invented things that we used on the job, and anything.
Shortcuts.
I got eye boogers. Just woke up.
Yeah.
But anyway, me and Jeremy, we used to go to the job, and we invented things that made shortcuts with our daily routine, and it was heating and air. You know, it was working on new houses and change outs, you know, in people's homes. You change out the old air conditioners in the outside unit, inside unit. But anyway, Jeremy in the past was one of my favorite hands that I worked with, because we just it was like a ritual, like a party, you know what I'm saying? We would always just have lots of fun together. And one day I showed up for work, and Jeremy had already left with another crew. And so I was walking around, and this is the irony of this story. Y'all got it's really weird. Mr. Stevens, I can't remember your first name, but he's didn't he have autism?
His son had autism.
Autism or autistic?
He was autistic.
Okay, autism. Anyway, I got stuck with Mr. Stevens. And I went to work with him the first day, and I mean, we were really, really, really slow at getting that job done. And I was so angry and upset that the next day when I went to go to work, I got out of the truck and I walked in there and I talked to my boss, and I said, "Boss man, I need a little time to talk with you here." And he goes, "Okay, we'll talk." And I said, "Well, I need to talk to you, you know," because he was up there with all the bigwigs and everything, talking, drinking coffee like they do every morning. Just having short conversation around the water can, you might want to call it. And I said, "Dude," I said, "I've been working with the same hand. We learn each other's habits. We know what each other's thinking. We're fast. We're doing what we're doing." And he goes, "Man," he says, I chose you to go to work with Mr. Stevens because I figured that you could be the one that could kind of, you know, you would understand. No one else in the company kind of understands." And I said, "Well, this is what's you got to listen to the whole story now. Listen to the whole story. Don't think I'm being mean." I said, well, man, I've been getting up and eating a peanut butter. Me and Jeremy, we blend together like peanut butter and jelly, man. We've been hitting it for you. We've been fast at what we do, and we've been knocking out double what the rest of the people's been knocking out. And that is a true story. I used to be very fast at doing rough ends. And I was known for that. I was good at what I did, and I'm proud to say it that I was. My hyperactivity, it sure was a bonus on there. Kudos for Limpy. But anyway, I told him, I said, I've been getting up every morning eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day while I was working. And now you hand me a peanut butter and tuna fish sandwich. And I really don't appreciate it. Well, I walked off, and I told him that I'm thinking about quitting because of it. But I stuck with it. I stuck with Mr. Stevens. And we continued to work together. And I remember it was Mr. Stevens because he had his Army fatigue. He had his Army uniform on. I still found one left. This is my grandpa's, by the way. He's dead and he's gone. He passed away of, I think he was 80. How old was he? 86 years old?
Yeah. I think it was 86 or
90.
90.
86 or something around there. He was getting up in the years. And I sure do love my grandpa. And this is what he used to wear out there when he worked in the yard and stuff. But anyway, back to the story. Squirrel. Anyway, Mr. Stevens was always in his Army uniforms coming to work. And the irony of it, everything at all, is me and Mr. Stevens got to know each other. We worked together. We were the slowest crew in the whole world. We were slow. And I kind of got used to being slow. Taking it easy, slowing down, getting to know a hand, and listen to some of the things that he said and things that he did and the way he did them. It just tickled me sometimes to get to know the guy. And we would even get him the car that I bought. Because of him, I ended up making $1 million overtime. And I got to go.
Both of y'all did.
Both of us did. And we put our money together and we saved it up. And we went and bought us a Lamborghini to ride around town in. Because we had all that overtime, you know what I'm saying? And it was a nightmare at first, you know what I'm saying? I was just tossing and turning and fighting with my pillow, and, you know, I was just, I was so upset. But it just goes to show you, man, that I think it was my subconscious telling me that, you know,
you got to slow down and enjoy things.
You got to slow down and enjoy things sometimes,
and
man.
Be patient and money will come.
And well, be patient and good things will come to you. You don't always have to think that you have
to be the fastest to be
the fastest, the bestest, and everything else to enjoy life and be that's what you got to do. You got to really hit it hard, you know. You got to have flames following you behind your tail because that's how fast you are. And I got stuck with the slowest person in the whole world and ended up making $1 million out of it and getting to know a good friend. And then I show up for work, and then they stick me back with Jeremy. And then that's when I woke up. I woke up because I was put in a box to be with somebody, and I got to know him. Didn't figure I would like working with him. Ended up being the totally opposite person that I was, you know, being slow, just reverse completely. And then in the long run ended up, because I remember in the dream of him just doing some things that just wasn't, it was just, in the way that he talked and everything was different. He was just different and all. And I would have never gotten a chance to get to know that guy. Yeah, like my brother. Oh yeah, man. Mr. Stevens, my brother is,
autistic.
He's autistic. That's right, he is autistic, isn't he?
Lance is autistic.
He still called me Steven. My first name is Steven. So he called me Steven. So I love him, and I guess that's I don't know why I didn't have the dream of my own brother, but I guess it that's just one of them things. But anyway, I ended up quitting the job because for real, because I don't know why that Mr. Stevens wasn't there no more for me. I kind of got used to working with him and everything, and that's the end of it.
He drove off in that Lamborghini.
Probably so. I got stuck back in the hole of having to bust my can all the time and being fast and everything, and I didn't get to drive around in the Lamborghini anymore.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it, Phoenix?
Yeah, that's my bird. He laughs. He laughs when we laugh, and let me tell you something. When Mama's upset and she's sniffling, that bird will cry. Just exactly like my wife will.
Well, sometimes he'll cry when there's no reason to cry. He never does it whenever, he won't do it. He's not awake yet. Really?
He said hello.
Good morning. He's like, are you crazy? I'm not talking.
He says, I'm not talking to y'all no more, man. Y'all got these little rats running into my cage at night trying to eat my bird seed.
He's tired. He had a long night.
Yeah. Them mice and rats are giving him, whichever one they are. I don't know which ones they are, but they're giving him night fright. you can hear him in here with his feathers.
So we tried the bowl with the oil trick.
But you got to use peanut oil.
Well, yeah, and I guess, yeah. There he goes. Good morning.
He just says, what's the little baby doing, huh?
But evidently, yeah, you got to use peanut oil. We use vegetable oil. And, yeah, that didn't work out so great. However, my son, when he set it up, he forgot to put, like, something down so they can actually get in the bowl. They can't exactly jump up 10 feet. So, but that's all right. We still have tonight. We'll try it again. I'll get some peanut oil today before I have to go to work. Another long week of work. So,
anyway,
seems like there's never enough time in the day to get, when you work night shift, to get caught up on your rest and then get everything done.
And as soon as you get caught up in your rest, it's like an endless cycle all over again.
Yep. So, anyway.
Anyway, I guess that's the end of the video. But, man, I'll tell you, Mr. Stevens, if I ever get the chance to come out your way, I want to get one of the trucks that I paint, one of the cars that I paint, and go take a ride with you, man. Because you're my $1 million kid. I don't know why I had that dream, man, but I was just going through points of the dream where I hated the world and was being forced to be stuck with this guy that was as slow as a goat. I think snails could work faster than we was working. Snails were walking faster than we could work. But in the end, I was making all kinds of money on you, man. I was making money on you.
Making money with him.
Making money with him. Having good times with him. Getting to know the guy. When somebody's autistic, I'll tell you this, man. When somebody is autistic, 90% of the people out there won't, because my brother, I know what it's like. They won't even stop to get to know the guy. They'll be nice and they'll listen to him and this, that, and other, and you can just tell they're just wanting to get out of there real quick, you know. But if y'all stop and just get to know that person,
oh, they're very smart.
They're very smart, very, very, very smart. Let me tell y'all this story one time.
Wait. His brother and I are the same age. And when we were both graduating high school, you know, because we're the same age, his brother, because, you know, you take, you know, your IQ test to see how smart you are. His brother scored, like, 5th year college level in science and math. You know, and he's really, really smart.
Really smart.
And he also did the Special Olympics up in Wyoming several years in a row and got gold medals for swimming. So, I mean, he's real, you know, I've learned autistic people, in a lot of ways, people disregard them as the mentality of being a little kid. But, man, you know, lot of things, they are really, really, their intelligence just goes off.
Can I talk now? No. Before I forget about it.
Yeah.
One time, me and my brother, I I guess I can use first names. It ain't going to hurt nothing. His name's Lance. Me and Lance, we was traveling. And Lance liked picking up the atlas, the map that tells us how to get from Texas to Wyoming. That's when and that kid would sit there and read the map. And then, you know, we did that like 2 or 3 times, you know, and he would always just sit there and read that darn map. And he always would fight with me over the map. You're watching the TV instead of the TV screen.
Sorry.
But Lance would always, you can watch the TV, I'll talk to him. But Lance would always read that map. And then one time, Mom said, well, give me the map because I got to find out how far it is from this town to this town. And he says, oh, so-and-so and something. And she goes, well, just let me see let me see the map. Because he didn't have it open when he told her the answer. And she said, let me see the map. And he got the map, she got the map and she was reading it in the front seat. And said, well, how many miles is it from this town to this town? And he told her the answer. Well, how many miles is it from this town to this town? And he told her the answer. Well, how many miles is it total from this town to this town? And he knew how much it was between each town. No matter what town you gave him, he knew how many miles it was between that town to that town. Not in a row. She even tried to pull sneakies on him and say, okay, I'm going to get him good on this one. We're going to pick this town over here and randomly just pick any town, not the towns you come to in a row while you're traveling. She would just pick different towns and even off the route a little bit and ask him, well, you know about this town? He was giving us the answers for those towns. And it just blew our minds.
Because they were right. Because
he was right. And it's still when I tell you this story, it still blows my mind to this day that he would know those answers in his head and just could tell you just like that. He didn't even have to think about it. They just came to him just like that. So people that are autistic are very, very smart people. And I'm glad I had this dream, and I'm glad you reminded me of my little brother.
Well, we don't want to talk about the dream I had. My dream was really bad. I have a computer that my mom left me. And I had this horrible dream that, I don't know, we were staying with people and I had my computer and they kept inviting more people to stay with them. And I kept telling them not to use it. You're going to put a virus on it because it was old. And then I would go into another room and my computer would clone itself. And so it was a really bad, horrible dream because I was scared that all these strangers were going to use my computer. You know, the one thing that I still have left from my mom, and they were going to ruin it, and they were going to fry it. So.
Yeah, that's that computer that I use on there. It has Windows Vista on it. We're not going to try to put anything else on it. It still gets onto the internet with Windows Vista on it, and we don't let it update. We did let it update a couple of times when we plugged it in, and it kept giving it, and it kept closing off on us. It kept shutting down. So we just shut down the updates on it, and it works just fine. We don't download anything. We get on. The only thing I use it for is to view YouTube and to get on YouTube and watch YouTube thing and read comments. That's it, and it still works.
Read my email
and read her emails and stuff.
Or anytime I have to do a document or a resume. You know, I hit my printer up to it, but that's it. Because I don't want to ruin it. But anyway. Phoenix!
What are you doing, huh?
Alright, well, that's enough for now.
You know what? You know what we need to teach that bird to say?
What?
Limster out. Hey! Let's teach the bird to say limster out. I bet you I can teach him. The way you want to teach a bird how to say something is you don't bother with your own voice. You get a tape recorder or something and you say, limster out, for example. And then when you leave the house to go on wherever you're going during the day, you push play. And I found that out because my mama told me whenever I was babysitting her birds one day, I put one of her birds that I like playing with. His name was Malachi?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Malachi.
He was an African gray.
He was an African gray, And she said, don't be teaching my birds,
Raspberries.
no, she didn't say that. She says, don't be teaching my birds bad things. And, so when we would go feed them, I put on, it was by a computer, and I clicked on the computer, and I went, like that. And that's all I did, and I pushed repeat. And then when Mom got home and fed the birds, I showed up the next day, and she says, you taught my bird the raspberry. And it's not funny. I started laughing. She says, that is not funny. She says, because that bird's going to say that stuff, and he did. He said that stuff for the rest of his life. As far as I know, he still does. But so, yeah, maybe we need to teach the bird to say Limster out. That would be cool, huh? He won't never say it when you want him to. He never talks. Birds never talk when you want him to talk for some. Well, I guess he'll talk for her, but they have a mind of their own.
He won't say what I want him to say. He'll meow like a cat.
Yeah. We went when we... Okay. One time when we went to Louisiana, we had to stay with some people.
It was when we first moved back down there.
When we first moved back down there to go watch my mom because she was sick on her deathbed.
And so anyway, our friends let us keep Phoenix over at their house. Well, they had cats. And so they kept our bird probably for about a month. And so, yeah, when we got him back, he now meows like a cat.
Yeah, every now and then you hear him go, meow, meow. Peekaboo to you too. Say Limster out, Phoenix. Anyway, I'll see y'all later, man. Limster out.
Limster out. Bye.
Bye-bye.